My name is Lester Leal and you can call me Les for short. And I work as young professional application customizer at ITVT Group. I am passionate about programming and enjoying sharing my knowledge with others. And my free time I contribute to communities and work on my personal projects. I discovered StackLeague last year, so that was 2022 through my Facebook newsfeed. So I was immediately intrigued by the idea of an online programming league, and I decided to learn more about it. So basically, I think it was just like a Code Wars, but it was based in the Philippines. So I take opportunity to do the challenge. My motivation for joining the league was to challenge myself and improve my programming skill. So I wanted to meet other like-minded individuals and push myself to become a better programmer. When I learned about StackLeague, I was looking to improve my programming skills and gain more experience and knowledge in competitive programming. I was excited to take on challenge problem and learn from other skilled programmers. So Stack League has helped me solve this problem by providing me with a variety of challenging programming problems and a supportive community of fellow programmers. I have learned new techniques in approaches to problem solving that have helped me to grow as a programmer. I think my favorite accomplishment in the league includes solving difficult programming problems, solve complex problems. This experience have been both challenging and rewarding, and have helped me develop my programming skills in new ways. Outside of the league, Stack League has helped me develop my problem-solving skills, which have been useful in my personal projects and at my work. I have gained confidence in my abilities as a programmer and feel more equipped to tackle complex problems. I highly recommend Stack League to anyone looking to challenge themselves and improve their programming skills. The league provides a supportive community of programmers and a variety of challenging problems that will help you grow as a programmer. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced programmer, Stack League has something to offer, so don't hesitate to join and start your own Stack League journey today.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another learning experience here in Stack League. We have, in partnership with Coding Chiefs, this is Crushing Your Tech Interview Tips and Techniques for Software Developers. So, hello again to all our viewers. We hope you guys are settled in. We are hoping, or we hope that you guys will really learn a lot from our session this evening. Okay, so I am Casey, by the way, and I will be your host for tonight's event. I would also like to remind everyone that if you have any questions for our speaker this evening or anything about the session, you can type them in the comment section so we can address them later at the Q&A session. All right, so before we dive into tonight's session, I would like to give a quick overview muna no on what we have for you guys this season or for this year. Let's start with, of course, Stack League is on its third season already, and the Stack League is the Philippines' largest online programming league, and it is powered by StackTrick's fully automated talent analytics and assessment platform. So here are our league partners who have been very supportive and generous with all throughout, no, even from we have some of our partners here now from year one talaga has been very supportive. We also have our media partners, who have also been a great support, especially for this season. And here we have, of course, let me go back to our partners pala, no? So I'd like to share with you, of course, Coding Chiefs is one of them. We have Packetworks, we have Microsoft, Colabera, Manulife, Deltec, Coding Chiefs, Recruit Day, Gcash, Likha IT by Free. And here are our community partners. They have also been very supportive in our initiatives. They have been helping us reach as many programmers as we can all across the Philippines. All right. So this pioneering programmer league is now gathering thousands of tech talents across the country, and our mission here is to really improve their coding skills while also earning prizes and getting access to awesome job opportunities. Now, one of the highlights in Stack League is the weekly top 10. So, we give recognition to our top players every week. So, meron tayong weekly ranking, and you can also check the overall ranking sa website natin. Real time yun siyang ina-update. So, you guys can check out that one. Apart from this, we also have the featured programmer campaign. So we post video features, blog features for our league leaders, no? And we try to learn as much as we can from their experience, from their league experience. Also, Stack League is hosting numerous tech and career sessions, and as we have, I think, normalized na, no, yung mga restrictions. So we also have been doing on-site events. Meron ding, of course, virtual events like this one. There are also trainings available for you guys. We have trainings that will help you level up or improve more here in Stack League. Okay. Also, later after the session, I will be sharing with you another opportunity, no, very great opportunity for you guys. It's a training that full stack training na i-share ko sa inyo mamaya. So I hope you guys will stay a bit after our session. Now, for the programming languages naman, we have five. We have JavaScript, Java, Python, C Sharp, and PHP. So here are the supported programming languages. Now, for our ranking system, very ano lang, very direct siya, no? It's yung point system niya is, of course, once you sign up, you start with 0 points. For this season, nag-reset po lahat ng scores natin nung launch natin for this year. So that means you get to level up again, you get to earn also the level up prizes. So once you have enough points, you can get to the next level or level challenges. And until when you reach gold, no, yung goal naman talaga natin is to really improve. So once you reach gold, there are so many opportunities for you guys to take advantage or to maximize on mga job opportunities. Mga actually with we also have other programs here in the league, no, that can only be accessed by silver and gold level challengers. So maraming ma-unlock ninyo na exciting opportunities. So again, there are three Stack League levels. We have the bronze, silver, and gold. Of course, gold being the highest. Now, for some of our competition highlights are the level up, or one of them is the level up. And your prizes natin for this one would be, once you unlock bronze, you automatically will receive 100 pesos. And then pag na-unlock nyo yung silver, that's an additional 100. And when you unlock gold, That's additional 300. Again, since the scores have been reset, so if you've been with Stack League since season 1 pa, for this year, you can earn these prizes again. So pag may account na kayo sa Stack League from last year or from last year, go ahead and unlock these levels because you get to earn them again for this season. Also, we have the playoffs. Actually, yung second monthly qualifier na natin to, no? So, that is this Saturday, April 29, 10 a.m. So, the playoffs is a single elimination tournament featuring all monthly qualifiers, and the qualified players can earn um, so the qualified players earn points by solving as many challenges as they can during the competition. Ito siya medyo mahaba-haba siyang competition because this is a really a competition between our top 10 players, no? So lahat ng mga top players natin every week are the only ones invited here. So pang ano na talaga to. This is like a very intense and fierce competition. Also for our playoffs, both pro league and student league maglalaban-laban. So that's what I want to also share with you guys is that the new thing about this league or this year is that we are dividing the league into two. Meron na siyang professional league or pro league and the student league. So, of course, from the name itself, Pro League is open to all professionals who have graduated and or have working experience. Sa Student League naman, this is open to all students who have no working experience. So, you can read actually more on the mechanics on this one at bit.ly/StackLeague Weekly Top 10. Now, both top 10 players from the two divisions will receive 500 pesos cash prize. So each yon, ibig sabihin every week you can win big and 20 players yung makaka-receive ng 500 pesos. Also, we have released or we just launched the PVP mode. Personally, this is my favorite, no, because ang exciting niya kasi you get to challenge your friends, your family, or just someone from the league, no. You can network with them. You can challenge them on a 15-minute one-on-one coding battle. And this is only open to silver until yung mga naka-reach na ng master level. So that's why we are really encouraging you guys to level up. So meron siyang you get to bet points, no, and then after that kung sino yung nananalo, kuha niya lahat ng points. You can read also all the mechanics of all these competition highlights natin sa stackleague.com/blogs. Also, just a reminder that Stack League is a year-round tournament. So that means we are not only looking for the best programmers in the country, but also the league leaders who can really stay on top of the rankings all throughout the competitive season. So that also means by the end of this year we will be hailing our grand winners. Okay. So that is for our some of our highlights here. No, we hope you guys will really leverage on these opportunities. Now, I will not delay it any further. No, I will be introducing to you our speaker for this evening. So, this is not her first. This is not yet her. Sorry, this is not her first session with us, but we are very glad to have her here again. We have the talent acquisition manager, of course, from Coding Chief. Let's all welcome Jessa Mariel de la Peña. Hi, Jessa. Good evening. Oh, I think you're on mute po.
Sorry.
Ayun. Hello po.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
All right. So take it away, Jessa.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to, tune in and stuff. So, anyway, for tonight, we'll be discussing about the preparations that you have to do or that we suggest you do for your technical interview. Technical interviews are crucial, of course, for software developers because this is the make or break of the whole recruitment process, in my opinion. And yeah, basically, this is the part where you'll be tested based on your industry experience or industry knowledge. And yeah, it can be quite scary. And there are a lot of things that you should be mindful of before you jump in. So I'm sharing with you things from, like things from my own research, from my observations in my, many years of observing technical interviews with the people I endorse to the clients that I work with. And yeah, hopefully this session will be something that you'll be able to pick up something from or learn from. Okay? Anyway, so for tonight, we'll be discussing. Oh, sorry. We'll be discussing some general preparation stuff that you have to do for the technical interview, some suggestions on what we think are best to do. And then, of course, we'll look into the preparations that you should do for the technical part of the interview or the coding, live coding thing. And then also, we have to look into the behavioral part, what are the things that you should be mindful of, the example, the way you say things and all of that. We'll look into that. And yeah, we'll look into some red flags that you should be mindful of. Are you or have you done this before or stuff like that? And yeah, maybe we'll try to discuss how we can correct them, or like present them in a better way. Yes. All right. So we start with the general preparations. Okay. So prior to the interview, we suggest that you understand what you are getting yourself into. It's important that you understand what the job description is, what the job requires, the technologies involved with the role, the expectations if it's written on that job description. If you applied, if you actively applied to the role, meaning you saw the job post online and you thought it was interesting, you clicked apply, it should be a given that you have read through the job description and you have understood what you're applying for. If you were invited to apply for the role, meaning a recruiter reached out to you and presented you with an opportunity and invited you to apply, you have to make sure that if you are getting to that stage where you'll be interviewed, like by fellow developers or by the CTO, or like maybe the technical director or something like that, you have to make sure that you understand what the role is, at least from what the paper or the job description is saying. Okay. And then do a research about the company. This is very important because it expresses your interest in the in your potential employer. So research about the company, get to know their products, their services, their values. If it's available online, check out their tech stack, check out, like some of the people that they're working with, or the client, for example, if they have other customers, or like the industry that they serve. The best way, I think, is to talk to the recruiter who invited you to apply or who first interviewed you. Ask for tips, ask the recruiter what to expect for the interview. It is important that you understand how the format of the interview will be. Will it be like a one-on-one interview? Will it be a panel interview? Should you expect a live coding challenge? Should you expect to, should you be prepared to have your sample of your work ready to be presented just in case? Those are the things that are, I feel like are crucial. Because if you jump into an interview with no idea of how it's gonna be like, did you even prepare at all? So yeah. And then you have to prepare to discuss your experience and skills. You have to review your CV. You have to review your resume. You have to understand what you wrote in there. The last thing we want is for you to be asked, ano ba yung nasa CV mo? Ano ba yung nakalagay dyan? Or may mga situations, for example, that will be like, oh, you wrote here in your CV, according to your CV, you had experience with this framework. So and you don't even remember putting it in there, and then you're caught off guard, you're not sure how to answer the question anymore. So, 'di ba, parang it's gonna be, they might think that you did not write the CV at all, or you might think that whatever is written on your CV is not even true. So let's try to avoid that, and like yeah, just review your CV, review what you wrote in there. And I think a top trick that I would like to share is that you have to keep your CV updated. If you have to, um, put things in order or something like that, and also always um, modify your CV to suit the role that you're applying for. Anyway, that's for another thing. And then make sure that you have time to practice some common interview questions. So there are a lot of resources online that will talk to you about, like what to expect during an interview, or how to answer questions about this and that. So those things, they're there because they're common. It is what is usually asked. And like, for example, can you tell us something about yourself? That's a common interview question. That's something, that is something that you have to make sure you know how to answer, because I think that is most basic. What I usually say when asked, tell us something about yourself, is to avoid discussing what is written on your CV, because it's already there. Like, they, for sure, if they reviewed, if they prepared, if they did their part and prepared, if the interviewer did their part and prepared, they would know what is written on your CV. Now, the tell us something about yourself part is for them to have an idea of who you are. Of course, you have to mention what you're currently doing, what you were doing in the past, and maybe something, like about yourself, like something that you're passionate about outside of work, maybe a hobby, or like a sport, maybe. So maybe that's something that could lighten up the mood, or like see the human side of you. It will allow the interviewers to see the human side of you. So yes, practice. I think all throughout this presentation, practice is gonna be a keyword. Practice this, practice that. So just take note of that. Okay, so let's get to the meaty part um of this presentation. No? So preparing for that technical assessment. In your technical interview, of course, there are times that people would think that you would need to know everything, which I don't think is exactly true. They will just verify your experience, your proficiency in the required frameworks, required languages, and they would like to know how deep your experience is, how much you've been exposed, or how much you've worked with a particular skill. So that's usually what that is for. And um, yeah, sorry. Let's move forward from that. Yeah. Oh, it keeps on. Sorry. Okay. So I'll present first, and all throughout this presentation, I'll present what to avoid first, and then what we should be, what you should be observing, or what you should be mindful of. Okay. So first, a red flag is, of course, lack of understanding of the required language or framework. Um, like, I don't think you would get to a technical interview if you don't qualify, or if you don't have the skills required in your CV. But if you're asked, for example, about basic stuff about how a certain framework works, or how a library is used in a particular framework's context, and you're not able to explain, which is supposed to be like a very basic thing for somebody in your field, that's going to be a red flag. And then also, if your experience, or if you are asked about how you solve problems in the past, and you're unable to explain exactly how you solve problems. It might make people think that maybe you are a developer, yes, but you were not. Maybe you were working in a big team and you were just on the supporting line, not really on the, like actively doing the coding and stuff like that. Or if you're a more junior developer, or if you're just starting, if you're looking for your first role, if you don't know the basics, the foundational stuff that should be expected to be asked, medyo red flag din siya. And then if your experience, of course, validating your skills, they will have to look into your experience. How much, for example, if you're a front-end developer, what frameworks did you use? If you say that you have used Vue.js extensively in the past, extensively means that you have parang solid na ginagamit mo yung Vue.js, no? So if you are asked, like what's the latest version of Vue.js that you have used, or um have you used this new library, or like this new um compiler, stuff like that, and you don't, it might make people think that stagnant ka na, that you're not willing to learn things, or you're not able to adapt to the advances or the updates in your own tech stack, which is quite scary. If I were a potential employer, and I would think that this person is not really that adaptable according to his experience or the way he explained his experience. So that's something lang that you should be wary of. Okay. And then um yeah, so to brush up on your tech stack, you have to make sure that you also practice coding, no? Because usually, oh wait, it depends on, and it depends basically on the employer, and it depends on the company. But sometimes they will have the coding challenge integrated into the technical interview. So in that case, you have to be able to, prepare for that. Practice coding, look into documentations, look into some open source projects online and review. Uh, Make sure that you also practice whiteboarding, for example, presenting your code, presenting your work, and explaining your work. Usually, when I prepare candidates for the technical interview, and there is a live coding challenge, or if there is a technical assessment, so let's say a coding challenge that the person has to take home, the way I explain it is I tell them that the coding challenge and your presentation of that code is not really for them to, I mean, I don't think a lot of employers will expect that you finish the code through and through, no? Maybe, of course, as much as possible, it has to be really good, but it doesn't have to be super perfect unless you're that good. But the point of the coding challenge is for your potential teammates, because that's how it's gonna be, right? You're being interviewed by some technical people in a potential employees team, that employer's team that you would eventually be joining, hopefully. So the point of the coding challenge is for them to understand how you approach problems at work, how your thought process goes while you were solving the code, while you were doing the coding. Why did you decide to do this instead of this? Why did you choose to use that library? What could you have done better if you had more time? Like if you had like the full control over this project, how would you solve this case? How will you code this? How will you do the solution to this? So those are the things that they want to understand, because of course they want to make sure that you will be able to, like be aligned with how their process is. At the same time, if ever your style is a bit different, will you be, let's say, be able to adjust to them, or will you be somebody who's going to be resistant to, like corrections, or um comments, or like suggestions? So that's something that is being gauged usually during this whiteboarding, or the presentation of your work. Okay. And when you are doing the live coding challenge during a technical interview, or when you are doing the coding challenge, if it's take home, like however they do it, the red flag that is, like, not really, they're not really looking for red flags, but the thing that would most likely be shown if you are unprepared is that you lack proficiency or experience, that you're not sure what you're doing, and then lack of understanding of the basic data structures, basic, like the basic stuff that you should already know in the first place. Inability to explain or justify the solution. Since you are the one who supposedly created that code, then you should be able to explain it at the least. So, if you aren't able to do that, that kind of makes people think, something shady is going on, right? And then, yeah, making errors that could have been avoided, as in being careless, like overcomplicating things, and then you miss the simplest things that sh- are easy mistakes to make, and those are the things that should not be even, like, people should not do that, and there are mistakes like that. So those are the things that you should make sure not to do. Okay. um I know that we said that this is for the technical interview, but there are a lot of things that go beyond what is, like, of course, technical skills are important, but if you are going to be a part of a new team, they have to make sure that, like, you will be able to adjust well to their environment, and you'll be able to get along well with other people. And I think what makes a good developer is not just the skills that they have in terms of their tech stack. It I think, if, like, it has to be like a balance between your work ethics and your skills, and your attitude towards people and all of that. So that's something that I want to look into also for this session. So yeah, it's important that you are able to communicate well. It doesn't mean that you have to speak English perfectly. Good communication skills doesn't mean that you have to have super perfect grammar, no? Super perfect pronunciations. Parang hindi maririnig yung regional accent nyo, as in, like, walang, parang untraceable kung taga saan ka, ganyan. It doesn't mean that. Effective communication skills, at least in my opinion, and yeah, it means that you're able to express yourself without stuttering, tas yung thoughts mo clear, pag may inexplain ka, klaro, parang hindi paligoy-ligoy, ganun. So yeah, and of course, a part of communication is your body language. So if you look distracted and out of focus during your interview, kaya virtual yan or physical or face-to-face interview, that's gonna be, it's as if you're expressing you're not that interested, no? Parang it makes you appear like you'd rather be somewhere else. Maybe it's the nervios. Yeah, sure, that's fine. But that is something that you can train yourself not to do. Kahit ninenervyos ka, you should appear confident pa din still, right? And then another one is beating around the bush. Parang paligoy-ligoy ka, ang dami-daming words, ang dami-daming stuff before the actual answer. And sometimes it's a waste of time. At the same time, it gives people the idea that you might not be that sure of what you're saying. That's why you're trying to cover it up by presenting as A rather than B, which is what we want, right? And then overcomplicating solutions. Sometimes the best answer is the simplest answer. And yeah, giving vague answers. You don't you don't say things specifically, you say things in general, lahat general, walang deeper sense, walang specific examples, walang real life applications. um just vague, parang at the end of the interview hindi ka pa rin nila kilala, hindi pa rin nila alam kung gaano ka proficient, and that could be a telltale sign that, like, wala tayong nakuha from this interview, basically. And then, how should we prepare for this to avoid doing all that? First of all, during that interview, make sure that you give enough time for the interviewer to finish the questions. Don't interrupt. No, don't interrupt the interviewer while the interviewer is talking, asking questions. I know sometimes that when people talk, when you know the answer, you want to say something fast, and the tendency is to cut people off. Even I am what's this guilty of this. But of course, during the interview, you have to make sure that you let the person finish the sentence first. And practice. If you have to practice with your friends, your family, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, just to make sure that you are saying things right. You can even record yourself, on your phone if needed, just to make sure that like you're expressing yourself well. Kasi pag naririnig mo na yung sarili mo, am I going around in circles explaining this simple thing? Then you should do it over and over again. And then go straight to the point and mind your body language. How is your posture? How is your how is your voice? Is your voice too soft? If you know that your voice is like by default not that loud, you have to, like, put an extra effort. You have to practice. Again, practice is key. I know that this seems a lot for one interview, but after I think in our lifetime, we don't just go through one interview. In general, like if we are out in the workforce, we don't just go through one interview. So it's a good skill to have. And another thing is that you have to be prepared to dig up the past. Like what I mentioned earlier, your past experiences, whatever is written in your CV will be discussed, no? It will be brought up. So the things to avoid overselling yourself. If you think you're good, if you think you're really, really good, and people in your life have said that you're good, your former managers, supervisors, teammates, your professors have told you that you're really, really good, that's fine. It's one thing to be proud about your work. It's another thing to start sounding arrogant. So, like, parang after you say something like, okay, these are the things that I have achieved, or these are the things that I can do, that's it. Like, overselling kind of makes people think that either, like, mayabang, or maybe parang this person wants us to believe this kasi baka overcompensating for maybe lack of skill or something. Another thing is being negative, as in when you are asked about your former employers, former teammates, medyo negative yung opinions mo about them, negative yung comments mo about them, that can be alarming. Kasi parang, like, um, it will make people question, like, how you really left that company, or if you're already left, or what are your motivations for leaving, or motivations for doing this interview, or why are you moving in the first place, no? And then if you struggle to recall situations from your career, because usually in interviews you'll be asked, can you talk to me about a time when you had to talk to a teammate who's not performing as much as you would have expected, parang ganon. So if you're unable to, like, recall certain situations, or for example, even the basic stuff. There was this one interview where the interviewer asked, so how many siblings do you have? So the interviewee was like, four. And that's like a super basic. I don't think a person would have to think that much kung tatanungin ka lang kailan yung kapatid mo. Unless siguro mga kung 20 plus kayo, sige, sure. Pero for, like, if you're just five siblings tapos nag-struggle ka pa to recall that, hmm, medyo weird. And of course, lying. Um, lying during your interview is a big no-no, and usually it's very obvious. I'm not sure. I can't pinpoint how we are able to tell, or maybe, of course, for more technical people, how they tell. Siguro by the way you say, like processes, and how one thing is used, or how, how something is used, or how something is applicable to a particular program or particular project. Siguro in that way they're able to tell if you're lying, but um yeah, just lying is a big red flag, and I think that should be a given. Because the last thing I want is for you to be hired for a job that you had to lie, and then once you're there, parang di mo na alam kung anong gagawin mo, di ba? So medyo, kaya tricky din siya. Okay, number one, be honest. If you don't know the answer, it's okay to say that I haven't experienced that in the past. Like I don't I was not exposed to that technology, or maybe you can say that I was not really a part of that big group, or I was not really a part of the team that made that program. Although I was asked to, like maybe do a code review for one of them, but I was not an active developer in that. So you can say that. And I think that is more admirable than straight up lying. Strengthen your strengths. What does this mean? If you know that you're good at something, highlight that. Highlight what you're good at. Weaken your weaknesses means that, if you know that you are, for example, um your weakness is, let's say, um what's the best example kaya? Okay, if your weakness, you say, for example, if you're asked about, your teamwork skills, and you know that you're not that outgoing, you're an introverted person, and you're the type who prefers working alone, and then you're asked, like, how would you feel if ever, like, you're not you're expected to work or collaborate with a big team, ganyan. For an introvert, it can be daunting, no? Like, I'm not sure. And that could be, I mean, introverts will be introverts, that's fine. But of course, in the work setup, you have to be able to adjust. So instead of saying that I'm an introvert, so I'm not really sure how I will deal with that, you can, weakening your weaknesses means that you admit that it is not your strength, but you make sure that you express that you're willing to, like, adjust to the situation, or willing to learn things. For example, if you're not yet exposed to particular technology, let's say, do you know anything about DevOps, and you haven't worked with DevOps, or you just heard about, DevOps exists, but you haven't worked with it, just say so. Like, you don't have to, like, lie and talk your way through the question. You just say that I have heard of it, but I haven't had a chance to, like, work on it or work with it in the past. But of course, it's something that I'm looking forward to, because it's something that, a lot of people have already been going into, and I would like to have a try myself. So that that I think is better than saying, like, I'm not sure, I don't know, that something, I don't know, straight up, and that's it. If you don't know something, it's okay, admit it, but make sure that you express your willingness to learn, willingness to adjust, because that would speak a lot about you as well. And instead of overselling, let your work speak for you. If you have your own, repository of your projects in the past, if you have sample websites that you can show them, projects in the past that you can maybe showcase or identify and say that, hey, this is something that I've worked on in the past, maybe you have time to look at it, then you won't really have to, like, brag and oversell your skills and your capacities. Okay. Okay. I did a research about what s- interviewers at this, most of these come from CEOs, CTOs, and stuff. So I looked it up and checked what are the red flags that they consider when they're talking to software developers. First is that they are lacking motivation. They don't seem that they are that passionate about their work. Evasive answers, as in, hindi nila exactly sinasagot yung tanong. Iniiwasan nilang sagot. parang iniwasan nilang diretsuhin yung sagot dun sa tanong, kaya they're going around in circles. And then code heroes or ego programmers. So what does this mean? Um, the having the feeling of entitlement because you know that you're good, having the feeling of being, like self-absorbed, or that you're irreplaceable, ganyan. That's something that uh, major red flag. And buzzwords everywhere, as in all the hip and trendy words you use, and it doesn't even apply. Like let's say, ano ba mga buzzwords for technology, like um coding genius, ganyan. I'm a coding genius with like basta yung mga medyo parang mabulaklak na masyado ng mga salita that is not even adding value to whatever you're saying. That's medyo parang, let's calm it down a little, parang ganyan. Let's go straight to the point. Let's just talk about what is real. Ganyan. Yung mga medyo pa-cool, ganyan, na mga answers, medyo iwasan natin siya. And then, BS. Yeah, talking BS is something that should definitely be avoided. And talking about Fred, if your name is Fred, I'm really sorry, but talking about Fred means that you focus on other people rather than highlighting your own skills, so your own experiences. So na-fixate ka na talking about your coworker who's been really influential in your life, or your mentor, or your ex-boss that you don't particularly like. Tas nag ano ka na, nagrant ka na about that person, and you missed to talk about yourself, and naubos na yung oras niyo during the interview for that kind of is a big red flag. And again, like what I mentioned earlier, if you talk about your previous employers, previous teammates negatively, that's gonna be a lot of like, not a lot, but a big red flag. And lack of passion, if you seem like the person who just comes in and out, and like um paano ba? Parang you don't like what you're doing, you only do it because you have to, ganyan, it shows. And of course, for employers, or for your future teammates, they would want to be with the person who is driven, who is, like, who still has the guts, or who still is very, how do I say it? Very much thirsty for more challenges, more like more things to learn. Somebody who's driven to learn from other people, somebody who's like, parang basta still thirsty for more. If, for example, if you are an experienced developer with over 10 years of experience, and you already seem bored, then like, most definitely the younger ones will parang get ahead of you, because they're more thirsty, they're more driven. I'm not saying it's true across the board, but if you're losing the drive, the passion for what you're doing, maybe it's time to, like, look back why you even wanted to be in this position in the first place. Like, maybe, parang reignite your passion for your work, because it's something that employers really look into, no? Okay. And as much as I gave you red flags that you should be careful not to exhibit while you are being interviewed, I would also like to share with you some things that you should look out for in a potential employer that might be present during an interview, because I think um that is also very important, no? Parang may red flag din naman when it comes to, potential employers. You also have to make sure that you're aware of these. So according to interviewees, or people who have gone through interviews, red flags for them are unclear job expectations. And it's also realistic to that unrealistic expectations, na parang they're not even sure about the direction of this person that they're gonna hire. They're not sure about what this person will be doing. Basta alam namin kailangan namin ng C++ developer. Para saan? Anong team yung sasalihan niya? Anong magiging project niya? If those are the bare minimums that they should be able to explain, and if they're unable to do that, then then that is a red flag. And then during the interview, if it turned out like a graded recitation rather than an actual conversation, medyo red flag siya. For example, parang nag-ano na lang kayo, identification, ganyan. So, for example, what technology or what is the framework that is based on Angular 2 that was released in year ganyan-ganyan, or what year was, let's say, Docker invented, ganyan. So, pag ganyan yung interview, medyo red flag. So, yeah. And then if your interviewer is clearly uninterested in you, that is also a red flag. Of course, like, why are you even interviewing me in the first place if you're not interested in me, right? And having unrealistic expectations. For example, if they're expecting you to finish a 3 hour coding challenge within that live coding session during the interview, medyo parang, maybe not, no? Maybe not. I am sharing this with you because as potential, like as people who are going through interviews, you have to make sure that you also, like, know your value as as future employees of of a particular company, or any potential employers. You have to make sure that like, you're able to detect whether you are getting into something good or something that is not really good, because the last thing you want is for you to get into something that, like, you're already tied to a bond and something, and that's gonna be medyo sad. So be a smart job applicant then. That's one thing. Another, I think, I should add to this that you have to know your worth as a professional. You have to know your worth. And yeah, just make sure that, like, you keep good company, and that also applies not only with your friends but with the people that you will be working with. And um yeah, I mean, it varies from company to company, but you make sure that like, in general, just be careful, just be mindful about what you're getting yourself into, you know so there. And then, in summary, I think the best thing that you can do is to present your best authentic self. Paano pag medyo pag hindi ako masyadong nice? Will I be presenting that? I think that's my authentic self. We're saying the best authentic self. So, always make sure that you highlight your strengths that is relevant to what the job is looking for, and be confident. Not arrogant, confident. Practice is key. Prepare, expect the worst. So that's why you have to prepare really hard for a technical interview. And if you're not sure about something, if you did not hear a question right, ask. You have to ask questions. You know, and it's important. I mentioned earlier that you have to research about the company, express interest by asking your future employers or your potential employers questions. Ask them questions. You know, yeah. And during technical interviews, it is their preview of how you are once you're onboarded. So let them imagine how it is gonna be like, or how you are as a teammate during that technical interview. Like, um, because if you're not unable to express your ideas, if you're unable to express your thoughts, or if you're unable to ask questions when things are unclear, people will think that, oh, maybe that person is not really, going to be communicative, and we're already working in a team. So, you know, um, it's your chance to make them feel that you're going to be an added value to their team. You're not just going to be another wallflower, you're going to be an added value. So that's, I think, one thing that you should highlight. And uh yeah, make sure that you're prepared for all the interviews that you'll be um signing up for. And for example, if it comes to it that, like the day is coming and you're not yet prepared, it's okay to ask, just not on the day itself. Maybe if you know that you're not yet prepared, or if something came up, you ask if it's possible to reschedule, because that's something that we can usually accommodate, but not usually like 5 minutes before the scheduled time. So, talk to your recruiter, talk to your interviewer if you're able. Like, of course it differs, like the setup differs from company to company, but make sure that you ask questions, clarify everything that you need to clarify, because that's really, really important. Yeah, so just be present your best authentic self during your interview, and prepare hard. That's it. Do you have questions?
Hello.
Mhm.
Ayun. Okay. So, thank you very much, Jessa, no, for this very
Thank
insightful
you.
and direct to the point talaga yung presentation na binigay ni Jessa sa atin, no. So, thank you very much. So, we are now going to move to another exciting part of our session this
Mhm.
evening. We have the Q&A, of course. So, baba ko na lang to muna so
Mhm.
people can have a better look, no? Ayun, okay. So, let's go over some of the questions here. Okay. Guys, if you have any questions, clarifications you want to ask din, sabi ni Jessa kanina, ask questions talaga daw. So, just type
Yes.
them in the comment section. All right. So, I think we have here the first one is, let's try this. From Kali. Ay, sorry. Iba yung naano ko. Ayun. Sabi daw ni Andrew, great talk. Ayun.
Mhm.
So, Kali is asking, if first job ko po siyang or applyan, how can I build my resume na wala pa akong work experience as a developer?
Uh, I think for uh, career starters, it is best if you would put their projects that you have done in the past. Like, of course, it's understandable naman if you're a fresh grad. We won't expect you to have like 10 pages of a CV, no? Usually the rule is one for every 10 years of experience, 1 page of the CV. So if I have 20 years of experience, let's say, 2 pages yung CV ko, ganyan. So for fresh grads, maybe just put in projects that you have done in the past, write the skills that you have used in that project, ano yung contribution mo yung sa project yun, that's important. Kasi baka naman ano ka lang, tagabili ng pancit canton for that project. So if it's a group project, you put there what are your contributions, no?
Mm-mm.
So kasi you have to make sure that you're able to express how you use the technology in a project. So yeah, if you have your like side projects portfolio that you can show, or that you can like put the link there or QR code, that's fine.
Ayun, okay. Very ano no, thank you for that very practical advice. So, actually for those na may 10 years daw na experience, 2 pages na yun. So, don't worry about filling in so many things sa resume mo.
Yes.
Especially if you're just starting. And if sa mga students natin here who are watching, as much as possible, get involved na kayo no sa mga projects niyo.
Mm.
Wag lang yung nakikisakay lang para naman you can also be prepared, no. May lalagay ka sa resume mo. All right, thank
Mhm.
you very much for that question and also for answering this one. Let's go to another comment here. Sige. This one is eto. Ayun. So which Sabi niya, which latest programming tools or skills should be my priority in learning po to have that edge in applying as a developer?
What do you like best? Because
Oh.
I think, like trends trends vary. It will
Mm,
differ. It will change. But I think if you stick to what you know you will do the best in, you'll be successful no matter what. So, um, parang kahit anong programming language pa yan, if you know that you're gonna be great at it, if you work hard to be good at it, you will always have that edge. And ito, most of the clients that I work with, usually they look, yeah, given may technical skills ka, fine. But you have to also make sure that your personality is well balanced. So, like hindi siya isa lang, hindi siya technical skills lang. It should be you're highly technical but at the same time you're also a good team player. Parang ganun.
mm.
So, focus on both maybe, like focus on being good on your own. Parang never mind mo na yung others. Just make sure that you're good on your own.
Ayun, ang ganda naman 'no ng advice na 'yon. So, learn something that you also like, that you love.
Mm.
Tama ba, Jessa? Yeah. So,
Yes.
kasi nga nag-change yung trends. It's fine if you learn these things as well, but it's also important
Mhm.
that you enjoy what you're doing. Obvious ba
Mhm.
'yon? I'm curious, Jess, ano, obvious ba 'yon sa ano, sa during an interview if
Mhm.
um love ba niya talaga yung ginagawa niya or just,
Us-
applying because of the coins?
Usually, yes. We were able to check. We have I've had experience talking to people who are obviously money driven, and that's another thing that people should be careful about. But yeah, just be passionate, no? Like be for example, no, you you took up computer science or you wanted to become a developer because you knew that this job paid well. Sure, it's true. It really pays good money, but if if you're just here for that, baka hindi ka maging successful in the long run. In the long run, baka maging reluctant ka na professional. Parang hindi ko naman ginusto to, hindi ako masaya. Parang alam mo yon. So,
Mm,
if you're already there, kung nandyan ka na eh, developer ka na eh,
mm,
like look for some things that you will love about what you're doing. Oh, look at it like it's a puzzle. You're trying to solve a puzzle. Make it more enjoyable, no? So,
mm.
yeah, learn to love the things that you're doing.
Ayun, okay. So, ano siya 'no, there are cons bale if you're just driven
Mm.
with that type of purpose. So, ikaw din yung
Yeah.
mabu-burnout. Yes.
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank you so much for that one, Jessa, and thank you for this question. Ito
Mm.
is medyo tricky yata yung question ni JDC ito. Ayan. So, I remember din sa
Oh.
presentation kanina, sabi
Mm.
mo, be honest or do not lie.
Mm.
Pero sabi niya, most tech professionals have side or multiple jobs. Siguro no sa mga freelancers,
Mm.
etc. Would it be better to keep it from a recruiter or be honest about it?
We know. Like,
Malalaman siya.
I mean, we know kasi parang it's a given. We we cannot stop you from doing that,
Mhm,
but of course, as much as possible, I would love for the people I recruit to be 100%. Not really, of course, we have a life outside work, but on the work side, to be 100% focused on our client, no? But if you do have a side hustle, let's say,
mm,
identify which one is your main priority, no? If you put yourself in the situation that you have multiple clients, multiple projects, be upfront about it, yes. But always give the for example, like make sure that you're prioritizing what needs to be prioritized. So if you say that, yeah, I'm working on this side project or I have a business, but of course this is my main focus because this reason, that reason. Yeah, it's a tricky question, but I guess, like, hindi na, parang we cannot really check. Parang you can always lie about it, but we would know based on your
Mm-hmm.
performance. Like, for example, if you're hired and then parang out of focus ka, ganyan,
Mm-hmm.
'di ba? So parang just be honest about it and make sure that you sort out your priorities, no?
Ayun. Okay. Thank you so much for that one. So, malalaman din eventually, no? So, um,
Mm.
sort it out. So, balance yung priorities mo. Make sure that everything is in order. Kasi, ano nga yung, yung do not, yung quote na, yung, ano yun? Yung do not sit in two chairs. Parang ganun, so sit on two chairs. Kasi,
Parang
ano,
mahirap
yeah, yung
masyado.
focus, yes, yung focus mo talaga magdi-decrease yan. So they will know.
Mhm.
Tapos maano ka pa, baka you'll be in trouble, no, sa boss or
Mm.
yung sa multiple na clients mo, ganyan. So be
You
sure
might
to
end
have
up
this in
losing
mind.
both.
Yes, which is worst case scenario. Okay, so
Mm.
thank you so much for that one, Jessa, and for this question. We have another one from Mary Antoinette. Okay, ang tanong niya ay, do you have any practical tips po on how to confidently market myself during a tech interview? Yung hindi siya overselling, pero ano naman, yung
Mm.
confident siya.
Stick to what is true.
Mhm,
Highlight your strengths. If you know that you're good at something, I mean, it's in the way you deliver it naman eh.
mhm,
Um, parang kasi may way na parang sinasabi mo yung totoo, pero ang dating parang condescending ka or arrogant na parang, galing-galing ko, ganyan. Medyo nakaka-off
mhm,
yun. But if you say that I was able to build, or I was able to, what do you call this, uh, build a legacy application from this programming language to another programming language on my own, and like I was able to help out with this big project. I was able to jump on in at short notice, and we were able to like successfully build this thing. It's a great thing that you did, but you did not sound like you were telling them na ang galing-galing ko, sila lahat hindi sila magaling. Parang alam mo yung ganun,
mhm,
parang stick to what is true. Parang i-highlight mo kung saan ka talaga magaling. Let them know kung saan ka pinaka-confident. But make sure that you say it in a way that will parang make people feel that, oh, I want her in my team more than, ay, ayoko kasi parang baka yabangan lang niya tayo. Parang ganun. So,
mhm.
again, practice. You have to parang deliver it and hear yourself delivering it. If you don't like how it sounds, then maybe you should rephrase it. That's why you have to keep on practicing.
Ayun. So, keep on practicing daw. And uh, it's better, no, yung sabi mo kasi kanina na let your work talk for you. So,
Mhm.
just talk about the work that you've done. Huwag yung puro adjectives na lang sa sarili mo na ako magaling ako, mabait ako,
Yeah.
ganyan. So, wag na lang sigurong ganon. So, talk about the work
Mm.
experience that you have, if you do have
Mhm.
one. Okay. Another, ano din, no, yung isa sa mga natutunan ko, marami na din, it's the good thing about yung our world today kasi maraming mga videos na makikita mo on how to do
Yes.
this one, yung the right
Mhm.
word for something or
Mhm.
for a question, interview question. Maybe you can
Yes.
also explore on that one.
Mm.
Okay, ayun, thank you so much. And as much as we want not to really extend the Q&A, maybe we can cater to one last question. This is from STC lang yung pangalan niya. So eto,
Mhm.
nakahiwalay yung tanong niya eh. So sige. Sabi niya, I am a software developer for 1 year and 9 months of software engineer, but it's hard to find a job. Nag-create na rin po ako ng
Mhm.
portfolio ko and projects and daming in-applyan. Naku, malaking problema yata to.
Mhm.
Pang work from home, but no recruiters reach out to me. Any advice about applying a job? Ayun. So, software developer na
Mhm.
siya for 1 year and 9 months.
Mhm. Okay. So, don't stop applying. Just keep on
Mhm.
applying. Like, of course, don't just blindly apply. No, don't just blindly click apply, and you don't even know if you're qualified. No, so make sure
Mhm.
that you read through, and if you feel like you're a fit, apply. If, for example, one job board is not working, try another one, try another one.
Mhm.
Also look into maybe like freelancing websites and all of those things. Um, if you're a more junior um, developer, I'm not saying that you don't have a lot of options, pero um, i-widen mo yung horizon mo into what you want to do. Kasi maybe
Mhm.
your search is too restricted, kaya
Mhm.
parang focused ka sa isang klase lang ng company or something, but you have to widen your horizon kasi usually that's where you'll find the best opportunities. Don't limit yourself muna. Just apply sa lahat ng, halimbawa, kung front-end developer ka, lahat ng may front-end developer na job title, tas tech stack mo yung nakalagay, applyan mo lang lahat. The more entries you send, the more chances of winning. At the same time, while you're doing that, build your skills up, build your portfolio up. You
Mhm.
make sure that your resume looks good, even with 1 year and 9 months of experience. That can you put in your experience, your job, what did you do, the last thing you want is to have a CV na parang job title, company, kung kailan ka nag-work doon, yun lang yung nakalagay, it's wala na. You have to put
Mhm.
there parang ano yung role mo, ano yung mga ginawa mo. For example, um, participated in code reviews. I was the one who migrated this to that. I was able
Mhm.
to, do this and do that. The skills that I used were, let's say, C++, Docker, ELK, stuff like that.
Mhm.
You have to be as detailed as possible, but don't make it super long. Just make it concise, easy to read, and yeah, apply ka lang na apply because sometimes, of course, there are market trends. Minsan hindi hiring season, minsan, like,
Mhm.
it varies, but your time will come. Just make sure that you don't give up on yourself and don't get frustrated. It can be really tough because the market is really saturated right now. Ang daming options ng recruiters, ang dami ng options ng applicants. So, um, you make sure that what's this? You make sure that you are able to send your CV to everyone that would be interested in you. No?
Mhm.
Yes. Don't give up.
Ayun.
Have your
Okay.
time.
Yes, don't stop believing daw, sabi ni
Yeah.
Jessa. So, keep on applying. Meron talaga yan, don't worry. Also, Jessa, do you think it might be helpful na meron silang connections, not connections I mean sa isang company, pero yung iba kasi is I've noticed, let's say sa LinkedIn,
Mhm.
uh, yung they connect with people na may connection sa yung
Oh
alam mo yun,
yeah.
yung may secondary
Mhm.
connections, ganyan. Would that be
Yes.
helpful po ba?
I think yes. Yeah, expand your network then. Kasi maybe if you, for example, if you say in LinkedIn that you're open to work and your secondary connections will see that, they might repost it or they might say that, oh, I saw this person open to work and this is the name of the person. And maybe this
Mm,
is what you're looking for, no? So that's, yeah. And also like reach out to your friends. If you have friends who are also devs, there's nothing wrong with asking them, hey, is your company open to, like, are they hiring, like, just send your CV out with confidence and grace. Like,
mhm,
we don't beg for jobs. We just tell people that you might want me because
mhm.
take a look at my CV because you might need me in your company just in case. If you don't, thank you, maybe next time. Parang ganon. Just, like, maximize all your options. Lahat ng pwedeng applyan mo.
Ayun, okay. Yes, maximize lahat ng options,
Mhm.
opportunities, ganyan. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I think that concludes our Q&A also, no? Or Q&A session natin for this evening. Thank you so much, Jessa, of course, for really answering, taking the time and effort to cater to our questions, to imparting your expertise sa ating participants, no? Is there anything else you want to add, Jessa, about before we end, no?
Um, no matter at what level in your career you already are right now, always be open to learning, always be humble, but make sure that you don't undervalue yourself. Don't give people discounts. If you know what you deserve, you have to go and ask for it. No, not ask. You have to go and get it, you know? And yeah, don't ask for anybody's permission to be great. Just
Ayun,
be
wow.
great.
Yan, be great guys. Pang ano yun pang ano yata yun, pang tagline. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much. So, Jessa, where can our participants reach out ba kung if they want to
Yeah.
connect with you? So, saan ka ba nila makikita?
You can check me out on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
linkedin.com/in/ Jessa, JESSA, MLD, as in dog, and then P, as in Papa. So
Ayun.
Jessa MLDP. That's my LinkedIn. And yeah, I hope to connect with a lot of you because I have a lot of connections in the tech industry. So if you're connected with me, then your secondary connections will be, other
Ayun.
other connections of mine. And also, hopefully in the future, I'll be working with some of you. So yeah, thank you for having me again. I really, really enjoy this thing. And yeah, thanks, Takli.
Ayun. So, don't be shy, guys. Connect with Jessa after this one. Ayan. So, thank you again, Jessa, for this very
Thank you.
fruitful and informative session. No? And I hope, thank you also, of course, for our participants. I hope you guys
Mhm.
really learned a lot. All right. So, thank you again, Jessa. Okay. So, ayun, tapos na yung main part natin. But as I have mentioned a while ago, no, I have something that you guys might be interested in. So before we get to announce other activities that we have, we are going to move on to another exciting opportunity for everyone. So we are very excited to announce the very very newly launched na full stack training natin with StackTrek. And to know more on which full stack training best suits you, we actually have two. So first is yung reskill. This is a non-coders training. So for those who are interested, a if you are a non-coder, a student, or yung still learning the craft, or a career shifter, and you want to take the first step into becoming one of the highest paid professionals in the country, our reskill training is something for you. So in this training, you will be able to develop skills that can help you prepare to be a successful tech professional. Then for ano naman, let's say for the coders, no, meron din tayong training for them. So medyo level up na to na training, no? We have the upskill training. If you are an existing coder who wants to advance your career and skills by equipping yourself with a modern engineering stack. So remember, this is a full stack training. And so we are inviting you to take up our upskill training. So if you are currently using a certain tech stack right now and want to learn more, then this one might be perfect for you guys. So you can submit your application at apply.stacktrack.com. So let me send it here para easier access din on your part. All right. So here. Ayan. So for those no na kanina nakita ko yung nag-a-apply pa but also want to while you're still applying or waiting for the perfect job that you want to be part of, so you can also build up your skills no while doing so. You can send your application again for the reskill or upskill training via apply.stacktrack.com. Excuse me. Okay, also, meron po tayong exclusive discount sa mga registrants natin or sa mga participants natin this evening. An email will be sent to you, yung discount code ninyo, and it is exclusively available sa inyo lang for that full stack training. So make sure you guys check this out, mag-apply na kayo dahil until if I'm not mistaken until this Saturday lang yung discount code. So ano na 'to, automatic kapag sumali kayo sa session natin this evening, you will receive the discount code via email after our event. So ayun 'no, I hope you guys will really maximize this opportunity to even advance your tech career, or expand your career potential in this industry. If you have any questions also, you can go over to StackTrek's Facebook page. That's at StackTrek lang yun. Or you can email StackTrek training at StackTrek.com. Ayun. So, pag may mga questions kayo, don't be afraid to reach out, or do not hesitate to reach out. Okay. So for our upcoming announcements naman din, we have the Stack League Kada Career Session. That's on May 3, 6 p.m. Next Wednesday po yun. Career opportunities in data science industry. So this one is also a very great opportunity for you guys to learn more in this type of industry. Very high demand po siya. So you can reserve your slots via bit.ly/stackleague May 3. Also, if you want to become a league leader, like what you see in our rankings now, but don't know where or how to start, you can join our Stack League workshop on May 9. That's next Tuesday, 6 p.m. We will be teaching you guys the know-hows in leveling up, staying on top of the ranks, consistently staying there, and becoming a league leader. You can reserve your slot at bit.ly/stackleague-May 9. Also, we have just recently announced we have a very exciting, I'm so excited to uh, really share this with you guys. We have the upcoming Battle Blitz. More information will be coming up soon. So keep an eye out on this for Battle Blitz. Ayun. Then for the latest updates, you can of course go ahead and visit StackLeague's Facebook page. That's fb.com/StackLeague/events. Also, to help improve the StackLeague team, improve namin yung sessions for you. You can answer this feedback form, or you can go over to bit.ly/stackleague sessions feedback, or you can also scan the QR code flashed on your screen. So if you guys want to send your feedbacks, so ayun, you can check this one. All right. Also, for your digital certificates pala, an email will also be sent to you with a request form. So, fill out nyo lang po yung information nyo there for your digital certificates. So that's all for the announcements. On behalf of the Stack League team, I would like to say thank you to everyone for joining the Stack League Coding Chiefs career session, crushing your tech interview tips and techniques for software developers. If you don't have a Stack League account yet, make sure to sign up now and choose your league at stackleague.com. And of course, invite your friends and family who you think should be part of the league. See you guys at the next tackling event. This has been your host, Casey. Have a good night, everyone.